Hey everyone, welcome back to Logic Bombs. Today we'll jump into row 8. We're starting off with a 15 by 15 puzzle. Let's go ahead and solve that row and this row as well, as was already given to us. This 13 looks promising here. Notably, there are in fact two slimes, which means that we need to have two distinct rows, or not rows, but sections. Whichever slime touches this section here is going to take ownership for all of this. Just because, wait, look at this. If we could only have one block here, then all of this touches, for example, right? I don't think it's possible if there's only one block here. I guess you could do that to stop all the Ys from hitting the bombs below, but that's a possibility, I guess. Are there any other obvious possibilities? Well, we know at least one X is going to be stopped from hitting these monsters as a result of these blocks here. So these X's aren't going to handle all the monsters here. I do wonder, just looking around, 45 monsters, 6X, 3Y, 3Z. If there's two sets of X's, then, for example, each of them could tackle two sets of monsters. Each of them could tackle one set of monsters. I guess it's possible for each set of X to tackle two monsters. If we do like this and this and this, for example, and this guy gets both sets down here. But we have no reason to believe that's the case at this moment. All we know is for sure is that one of these X's is not getting these monsters here. That's all we know about these X's definitively. We also have looking around, I wonder which set of monsters this slime and this slime are going to correspond to. I get the honest impression that this slime, unless they can like successfully, there is no way to stop this group of monsters from touching this middle section here. No matter where we put this block, it'll touch in some way, and this slime absolutely has to touch these monsters. Therefore, these two groups of monsters are going to be touching this middle part, and therefore this slime is going to be responsible for all of these top parts. Given that the slimes cannot, the zones of the slimes cannot touch, there have to be walls between them, that means we're going to have something like this, with the relevant parts blocked off. And we know there's no way for, I'm pretty sure X has to be equal to 2. Or not equal to 2, equal to 2 groups. And X has to attack all of these guys. Because otherwise, that creates openings for these two groups to attack each other. Oh, wait. No, I'm not so sure about that. Here, think about it. If we do this, and X sincerely looks like this, where do we put... Oh, we can put the airspaces here and block it all off like that. Never mind. I'm pretty sure this is an acceptable way to solve that particular conundrum. That conundrum being, how do we stop these two groups from touching, these two sides from touching, if this X is all the way across. So then which is it? Is it going to be Y or Z that has these monsters handled? One of them has to be 0, one of them has to be 1. Which is which? We've yet to see. Let's just go ahead and solve that for the time being. You have to be open. Therefore, you go there. I don't think I have another immediate guaranteed item to solve. We know we have to have walls here and walls here, blocking these Ys from attacking the monsters above and below them. I believe the only way to make that happen is we can't have several here. We can only have one there. We have to block it off, this guy off, with that particular one. We then also have to block him out for the same reason. There's no other way to place this block somewhere and stop this bomb from hitting those monsters. Wall there. You're solved. What else? Now it looks like we know for certain that these Z's are going to attack those monsters, which is a nice thing to have for certain. You're not attacking those guys, so you're guaranteed to be walled off. You're also guaranteed to be walled off there, because that's the only way to stop this Y from attacking these guys. Let's go ahead and solve that row. Blocked. Solved. Blocked. Solved. This row is solved as well. This column is nearly solved. Now it's solved. No, that's not how it works. This has to be open, therefore it's solved like that. And the puzzle is solved. Perfect. Let's jump into the next level. Okay, 3 slimes, 3 groups. This slime is touching this monster. This one's probably going to touch that monster. And we'll find out the rest. There's only one block in this section here. I guess it could be there and we have this bomb attack both sides of it, but we don't know that for sure yet. We know for sure that this guy is going to attack this monster, because even if he goes over and attacks this guy, which he can't, by the way, if we do this, there's not enough space left over for all 4 walls in the row. Because we know that he has to attack those particular guys. Thus, this slime is now a part of this group. Since this bomb isn't doing it, this bomb has to attack this guy, forcing walls there, forcing that as the solution of how the bombs interact. Wall there. Any other known walls. There has to be a wall there to stop this slime. If this is open air, then these 2 slimes touch, which is no good. Open to make sure the slime can escape from the walled enclosure. And then that's solved like that. This is also solved. Wow, that was easy. What's next? I guess we have to figure out how to stop these 2 groups from touching. The wall can't be here because then there's no way to stop these guys from touching like that. I guess you could do like that. I'm not sure. Ugh, what is next? This is trickier than I thought it would be. Okay, what can we do with down here? 2. If we put that there, that goes like that, which is neither here nor there, but would force us to do that, for example. We could also, of course, have something like this. No rule against it, as of as far as I'm aware. If we do this, does that cause any problems? Yes, that would. If we put this block here, that makes all of that open air. Then no matter where we put this block over here, these two will intersect because that'll be open air, for example. Therefore, that has to be open air. The same thing true here. Yep. Is it true here? No, you can block it off there. You can block it off putting that there. Therefore, I think all of these have to be open air, because if we put it there... Okay, yeah. We know those have to be open air. Therefore, we can't put a block there, because then they'll touch... No, they can touch there, that's fine. Not they can touch, but we can put a block there. It's okay if these are filled, because we can just put that there, for example. That was a lot of work to prove very, very little. Let's see if we can't be more efficient about this. Oh, well, this has to be the open air spot. This has to be a block. If this is the open air spot, then all that gets filled, and that blocks this top part off entirely. That's a block. That's solved. Therefore, there's two blocks like here and here in those rows, I mean. Not necessarily exactly there. Let's move on for the time being, and we'll come back to that one and see if we can't figure it out. Summation 10 with a lot of question marks. 26 monsters total, with a Y and an X. Is X in any of the rows? No, but Y is in some of the rows and columns. Oh, and all of these bombs here. This one's tricky. Okay, given that there's only one wall in this row and that row and that row, we know that this group of bombs is going to have to get one of these side groups, right? There's no way to block them off from getting both. It's also possible they go up. No. X or Y has to get this monster here and this monster here. There's no way for these middle bombs to get those particular monsters. Therefore, they're going to attack either like this way and do this sort of thing, or go that way and do that sort of thing. What that means, I think, is that because they can't get... I guess the bombs could theoretically get both sides of the same thing and then like block off here. Like, it is theoretically possible for the bombs to attack both left and right, then have X just go crazy and just get all of these things here. I'll reset just for cleanliness, but that is immensely possible, I think. Okay, well, let's say Y gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 versus 7 monsters. Does that change anything? That changes this from 6 to 7. Either way, Y is getting 6 or 7. That's an important distinction, because 6 blocks off one of these, 7 blocks off one of those. And if we're going to block off this, for example, we also probably we're going to block off one of these. This one is tricky. I'll concede, yeah. 5 is interesting here. How can we get away with only 5? Wait, that's weird. Oh, that's so interesting. Okay, well, we can get away with it because we just put like one of the blocks here. But with 5, at least one of these has to be blocked off, meaning that the question marks can't attack this group. The reason why being that if this monster is left unattended for, the only way to get it would be to attack from the side, which is invalid because this monster is already being attacked. You can't have 2 bombs attack the same one. So, this group of bombs can't get these guys, therefore Y has to get them. We know for a fact Y is getting that group of bombs. Or that group of monsters, I mean. I guess that means we can basically plug in this as... That means Y is 6 in each of those cases, which by effect means a very similar thing. It means X has to get both of these groups. Y can't exceed more than like 7, right? At least he has to get those. Y can't exceed more than like 7, so that's blocked off. And we know these bombs get these guys at this point. Okay, well now we almost have a couple more rows solved. Okay, let's say we get this guy. That means there's 7 here. We can fill that exactly. Is something similarly... Oh, well, X has to get this guy. X just simply has to get that one. There is no way for Y to get that particular monster. Thus, we solve that row, which is nice. We solve this row because this bomb will hit this monster if we don't put a wall there. And then what? X is equal to like 1 billion and Y is equal to... No, we don't know yet. We still need to figure out if Y is going to attack the bottom right one or if X is going to. That's blocked off like that because we know how that one looks solved. Question mark. Fun. That's also blocked off. I should have clarified. That was an obvious one. If X is only 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's not going to work. There's going to be 7 in this row if we block off all of these guys, which we have to now. Therefore, Y gets that guy. That's blocked off. Y is 7 now. This is all solved. That's all solved. 1, 2, 3, 4. Huge. Nice. Let's move on to the next one. A, B, X, and Y. We gotta separate these slimes out. Pronto. We have no choice but to make that arrangement, it looks like. Just make sure all the slimes stay as distinct little zones. the Y, X, B, and A. Keep in mind that these bombs cannot have the same number as any other bomb. So, like, if B is 2, then A is out of luck if B and 2. The only bomb that can get those monsters is A. The only bomb that can get these monsters is B. Therefore, they're getting those guys. Y is getting this guy. That's all just done and dusted. The next question is, what is the next question? Oh, B also has to get this guy, just unequivocally. B is getting that individual. How I'm seeing this play out is B gets this guy as well, or more likely, X gets this guy, A gets that guy, making this 1 and 3, B gets this guy up here, making him 4, and Y gets this guy, making him 2. That stops any of them from repeating, which is nice. We have to have a wall here to stop this slime from touching that slime group. Wall done. Any other possible incoming walls? Not that I see. Oh, well, if each monster is going to touch one of 4 bombs, then that means each of the bombs is going to have its own slime group. We basically can't have any of the bomb groups, the groups created by bombs and their tiles, touching. Therefore, we put walls there to block it off like that. This is now one consolidated nice big group. What's next? We could also have B is equal to like... Oh yeah, B does need to be equal to 4, I'm pretty sure. How do I make B equal to 4? Without, like, ruining everything. I could have this. Oh, B can't get this guy, because if he gets him, then there's not enough blocks left or space left over for all of the blocks like that. Therefore, Y has to get that individual. Y is not going to be equal to 3, I don't think. Yeah, this guy can be equal to up to 4, then the B is 3. If B gets that guy, 3. Oh no, Y could be 3 if we leave A at only 2 and have this X get that 1. Okay, Y could be 3. We're not going to block this off quite yet. Okay. What am I looking at here? Let's check these rows and make sure I'm not missing anything obvious, like solved rows or anything of the sort. I guess we just kind of have to start committing certain bombs to certain slimes. We know this slime is with this guy, and this slime is with that guy. So then who's with which ones? I think it's pretty easy to conclude. We can't block this slime off from touching X like that, because if we do, then X will just touch this bomb group over here, which makes no sense. Therefore, this slime is responsible for X like that. Meaning, this slime responsible for A. Ooh, that's interesting. Wall there, by the way. Has to go up. Wall there to stop those two from touching. Has to go there. Wall there to stop those two from touching. Wall there. Boom. Wall there. Like that. That was a lot of blocks to place down all at once and to still feel like I have made almost no progress. We know that the 2-3 blocks can't be there because that blocks this off from touching A. Therefore, one of them has to go there, forcing X to get this guy, and those 3 to go like that. That's now connected as such. A is connected like that. We stop those 2 from touching. A is 3, B is 3. Whichever one touches this guy, it's fine. B can touch him, A can touch him without real issue as far as I can tell. That's also solved here. Nice. I'm taking a look. What do I do next? I don't think we can figure out this portion here quite yet. Instead, let's say we block this off and touch this instead. Ooh. Ooh, wait, no, there's a big problem actually. How are we going to get around all of that? Oh, did I screw up bad? Fewer than 3 wrong. What? Do we know for sure? No. I see what I did here. I put this block here correctly, then realized after the fact that correctly? Let's take a few steps back here. Okay. I'm pretty sure we have to do something along these lines. And you touch there to stop yeah, we're doing this. This is how it has to be, because initially I had it so that those are going across. This slime and trying to get to A would intersect with B at some point, which was, of course, no good. Has to go there, because we can't block it off here. That's all solved. And now what? We need to stop this from getting in. Is there a problem with... There is a problem with that. I solved the problem with that. Oh no, wait, what am I doing here? What if I do this? Oh no, I screwed up bad somewhere. Okay, 3, 5, 3, 3, 3, 3, 2, 3, 5. Oh. Dang it. I was hoping that would just miraculously allow everything to... Ooh. I see the problem. This is blocked off from that now. My bad. Huge. There we go. I just had a little bit of imperfection in the top. I just screwed up somewhere a little bit, but we've got it worked out now. Huge. Level 5 of row 8. We're pretty rapidly approaching the end game of this whole saga. This has been a pretty good puzzle logic game. Lots of fun, well-designed individual levels. I like how you basically never have to guess, which is not always true in some other games where 50-50s do arise. This all feels finely tuned and crafted. I say that as I look at this and have no idea what I want to do first, or what I even should do. Is there any monster that only a single bomb is absolutely... Like, is there one bomb that absolutely has to hit a certain monster? Okay, let's take a look at... the rows of the ones should be helpful, right? Like, if there's only one wall in this row, that tells us almost nothing, actually. I lied. Here's something. This bomb cannot get all 4 of these monsters. Because if he did, there'd be no room for the one block in that particular column. Therefore, he has to get at least one of these guys off to his side. Which guy? Well, if he gets both there and there, these slimes touch. So that's not good at all. Is there any reason to believe that he couldn't make certain progress here? Okay, we have 4 blocks. We can fill that up. So we know for certain he is guaranteed to get at least that one guy. Because the absolute most you can get in this row, if you absolutely maximize, is that. And then I guess you could also... Is it possible to only have him get like this guy and then also go down like that? Yeah, I guess so. What is he required to get? Okay, well, let's say he gets this guy. He can't also get that guy. Is that okay? Because then the slimes will touch. Is that acceptable? Can we make that work? Block it off there. He goes like that. Okay, cute. And then he gets like this guy, for example. Yeah, that's totally fine. If he gets blocked off here and gets that guy, what's the absolute most he can get in this row if we 100% max? So he has to get at least... What if we do... Yeah, no matter what, the most he can get horizontally is 2. There's no way around only getting 2 there. Therefore, he has to, at minimum, get this one here, which stops him from getting this guy over here. Which means he has to get that guy, because one of these is going to be blocked off by a wall somewhere. And he's also going to get that guy, because you can't block him off here. He'd only get, like, 2. He'd only get 3, including that guy up there. Therefore, the 1 goes here, gets this guy. The 1 has to go... Doesn't have to. He could get him, or this guy is still eligible to get the 1 below him. 3 slimes, by the way. I should have mentioned that. We have 3 slimes, 3 zones. what does that tell us? Looking around, what's the absolute least you can get away with here? Oh, so no matter what, only one bomb is hitting one guy if we have all this going here. Okay, let's say we keep this part open. Nope. One of these bombs has to hit this guy because there's no other bomb that can do it. This guy gets stopped there if he tries. Therefore, all of that is filled, and we'll figure out what gets filled over here later. That means 4 has to get that guy. 2 has to get this guy here. Which is good. Which is good. That gets us somewhere. What now? Is any certain... Well, the only monster this bomb can get is now this guy, so that's blocked off like that. You're forced to get that individual. You're blocked off vertically like that. And what happens next? I think what happens next is... I don't know. We're very close to getting this guy to hit that guy instead. Oh, well, the only monsters this guy can hit are this guy or that guy. And the only ones that this guy can hit are this guy and that guy and that guy. I think what that means is if we block him off by doing that, he has to get these guys. If we get this guy instead, he's going out that way. Okay, we actually don't know what he's going to do for sure yet. Let's move on and come back to that one and see if we can't get inspiration further on. Ooh, this is tricky. 36 monsters, 2x, 1y, 2z, 2n, 2a, 2b, 2c, throwing the whole dang alphabet at us at once. Oh, what is their scheme? Is there any reason that... Okay, none of the variables are used as row or column numbers, which is nice. All of these have to be blocked, so do all of those, leaving what? 2? Yeah, 2 required each. There and there. Only one of these is going to be blocked off, if even that. We can't block this one off, because then what does the Z do here? Because then that requires that one to be open, and that's contradictory, so we know for sure both of those will be open. We then also know, just by default, given that there's a bomb coming from below here, we can't put the wall here because then that'll make it like that, and he'll double hit a monster if we do that. Therefore, any space between already solved monsters is going to go ahead and be empty by default as well. Seven walls here, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that's doable. We can possibly block off none of them. What do we do here? Where are the repeats? Let's say this guy goes there, this guy we get at least one here. He has to get at least one, but then he's blocked off immediately, and you're only getting one. That's acceptable, I think. How about A gets nothing, therefore, or A gets this, therefore B gets nothing, therefore B gets nothing. No one can get this monster. B has to be going, and A has to be stopped. While there, this is all solved. This is all solved. This is all solved. Let's say this gets stopped here. No, C has to get at least one. X has to get at least one. N and Y are possibly going to get nothing, but then who's going to get these guys? If, yeah, no, actually, they all get at least one because they have to. A doesn't get any of those. Therefore, C gets two of them. Block. X gets at least two of them. We're blocking that because otherwise a monster will be gotten twice. You're blocked there for the same reason. We can't have a monster be gotten twice. Let's see, what's X up to? X now has 3, therefore X has to get that. N and N are both blocked off like that. X is 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. That's solved. What's Z up to? Oh, if X is guaranteed to be only 4, then that's blocked off like that. Therefore, we're going to have Z get all of these guys. Otherwise, no one can or will. What happened here? We should have that blocked off, right? Okay, good. Is this row solved? Almost solved. Very nearly solved. That's all solved. Oop. Y has to get both of them. Yay! That wasn't so bad. One, two, three, four, 5. And then there's 2 more in this row to solve. Oh, what do we do next? Are there any other obvious, like, oh, monsters and bombs can't interact rules? I'm not seeing any. How about making sure our slime friend can access everyone and everything? Yeah, I guess he can. If we block it off like this, that's still fine. They can get through with the mines here. Oh, what do we do as our last few steps here? Oh, well, that's solved. That's also solved. I forgot to fill in these. My bad. Big fan of these arrows that are telling you which row and column you're looking at. We almost have that particular part solved. That's now all solved. Almost solved there, but again, not quite. Oh, what do I do next? Oh, this is solved. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Huge. Sometimes it's just about finding that one row that is arbitrarily ready for you to take a look at it now that you've gotten some other blocks down. That can't be blocked off because there's a tile here that will be stuck if I do. Therefore, we do that. That has to be open so A can escape. Therefore, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Perfect. Tremendous. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, 4 slimes, 4 bombs. Each slime will have 1 bomb corresponding to it. Therefore, it's that or this. Or I guess neither. I guess he could have this guy do that, and this guy just kind of shuts down, right? I'm not adoring. Okay, we have to have. Okay, these both have to be open air because the wall has to be somewhere in there to stop these 2 bombs from colliding. The same thing goes here. We can't have the air like out here because then they'll collide. Oh no. What does come next? 4 is interesting here. We block off them there. Okay, here's something interesting with this 4. I believe there is absolutely no way to do this that'll ensure 1 bomb hits both monsters. We have to have this exact setup so that both monsters get hit in the first place. Without that exact setup, it's just not going to happen. Then this slime is going to touch one of these 2 groups. Is either way possible? Yeah, either way is feasible. What else is happening? Yeah, we can do like this or something. Or we can do, we touch there and then like whatever happens. Ooh, I don't see an obvious next move. As usual, you just kind of gotta stare at it for a bit and see what changes. I'm looking up at this top here. 9 blocks like that. That means that only 1 spot can be in airspace. And what that means is that both of these can't be air. Now we know for a fact one of them has to be air because we have this guy attached like that. And I don't think we can really have... We can't really have like this blocked off, right? Would it be at all feasible to have that blocked off? And then, no, we need to have another slime able to touch that guy. Same goes like here. Oh, wait, we just can't have that guy blocked off at all. Because if we do, then the only way to access him is through this bomb here, which creates a 2-bomb group, which is absolutely no good. Therefore, that's how that has to work out. Meanwhile, all of this is solved now, which is nice. There's a block there to stop those 2 from touching. That's blocked off there. And that's blocked off there because they absolutely have to be. No slimes touching there. So what that means is that this slime is going to touch this bomb because this slime is already touching this bomb over here, leaving this slime with these monsters. This bomb absolutely has to get those monsters, no other way around it. And what else? Huh. I guess we're figuring out, does the wall go there? Well, the wall can't go here, because then they'll touch like that, and that's not going to work. We can't have that be open. Oh no, we totally could. We totally could have that open. And that totally works too. Well, never mind. We do know, though, those have to be walls. All that's open, that's connected, that's blocked off. That's blocked off. And they're hanging out in there like friends. Wait, no. Oops. You. Does that work? That does work. Yay! Well, that wasn't so bad. Let's jump into the next one. That's solved. That's also solved, which seems like a tremendous amount to give us all at the beginning. What are the implications with this level? Okay, we're gonna have a one gap thing here and then like a wall somewhere, right? And I'm pretty sure what that means is... What does that mean? Let's do the extremes first. Let's say we have this. The wall can't be anywhere except for like on the edge, because the wall has to be on the edge, because otherwise part of it gets caught in the middle here and that creates a new zone. Same is true if we do this. Wall has to be on the edge. Let's do in the middle. Let's do in the middle somewhere. Wall can't be there. Yeah, just can't be there, right? Because then that creates a little standalone zone there. Is there anywhere where this wall placement is justified? No, absolutely none. Therefore, all of these have to be open, and the wall is going to go either there or there, based on where the opening is. Yeah, okay. That seems odd. Is the same thing true here? No, we have two walls now. And we can have them placed like that, potentially, with very similar logic for it. Okay, so that means all these middle spaces have to be open. Because there's no way to justify putting this here, for example. Yeah, there's no way to justify that. It's going to block off something based on the wall here if it's here. Okay, so we have all that figured out. Is that enough for us to... Let's say that goes there, and this goes there. Great. Lot to figure out there, but great. 6. How far away are we from solving any of those? Let's say that's open. Or sorry. Oh, this is mostly open with one blockage somewhere. Could this be the blockage? No, that could not be the blockage. Wait, sorry. What am I doing? What am I doing? Let's say this goes here. That seems fine. I don't really see a limitation on where these 4 blocks can go. Or where these 2 blocks can go. Oh, this column is solved. That's a big step forward. I should have realized that earlier. Okay, what's next? Well, I think we can't put a block there because no matter what, either that'll be blocked or this will be open and all of this will be closed off, creating a standalone zone there. That has to be open. Which then solves this row, or this column, I mean. Solving that row, which then, the exact same thing, has to be there. Solving that column for us. Now we have way more flexibility. Like, that's okay, because we can connect it like that instead. I don't know what to do next. Oh, that's solved. Oops. And that has to go there, that has to go there. This is all open now, which solves this column for us, which gets us most of the way to solving a bunch of other things too. Like, examples incoming, I promise. Oh, that's like that now, so that's open, which solves that for us. Which solves all of this, which solves that in equal measure. Like that. Perfect. Great. We'll do this one, then we'll go back to the ones we started last at the beginning of this episode, and do those. Not last time. Oops. X, Y, Z. There's 14 monsters total. Oh, and a bunch of question mark blocks. That makes sense. So either X or Y can get them, or Z can get them. X is already getting all of these guys, and if X is getting 8, no, X is getting 7. Let me visualize that. Yeah, that's how much that matters. Is it feasible at all for Z to get 0? Like, what happens if Z gets 0? Anything go wrong? No, that lines up. That makes sense. Yeah, that all makes enough sense. I'm not particularly worried if Z happens to be 0. I'm just... Okay, one slime. I should have mentioned that earlier. One slime, so there's only one zone. Yay. Always a good time. Y. What happens if Y is equal to 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. It just about perfectly works for that. Yeah, if Y gets this, then that's full. We for sure can't have this going on, because then... Why couldn't we actually? Oh, this one's dubious. This one's a real nuisance. Oh, 14 and 8. With one question mark block here. Okay, well 14, the absolute highest, this total summation, oh, with the variables too. Never mind, there's a lot to work out there. I don't like the implication that that is a somehow helpful part of this puzzle. Don't forget, we already have 7 here with x, so that's plus 7 to the top right number, Oh, another +7 here with this other X too. 14 plus 8, 22 already in the top right. 22. Can we even begin to match 22? Well, okay. If this is 22, then we need to make up at least 8 to get there on this left-hand row. Now, an easy way to do that would be to make this equal to 7, which adds 14. Ooh, 28 total. Is there room for 6 here? I guess there is, but that seems like a bit much. Let's go back to those earlier ones now. I lied. Why did I reset that? There was probably something useful here that I just reset, and now I'm going to look like a fool when I don't immediately reclaim the knowledge I once had. Okay, well, no matter what, this 2 is touching the slime, so we can just assume that, yeah, we can't do that. So this 2 is at least getting that guy, and you can't get that guy because there wouldn't be enough room for those 2 like that. What's wrong with that? I imagine a lot of things. 6 plus wrong. Oh, classic guessing maneuver. Those always go well, as you know. No, but seriously, like, what's mathematically wrong with it? 4, 4, 3, 2. Oh, this guy. Oh, this guy needs a monster. I hadn't even thought about that. We have to get this slime down here a monster somewhere. Oh, man. Okay. And it has to be this guy at the top. Oh, that's a revelation. Oh, that makes so much sense. Yeah, okay. How do we get this guy up here to come all the way down here and be our friend? Okay, well, shoot. That makes way more sense. Also, why do we know this now? I'm just gonna go with it. Yeah, it's still correct according to the number. We can't have it there. It has to be a wall there. Okay, that's like theoretically possible, but I'd rather have it like over here than we like build a wall like that, you know? Can't be there. Can't be there. Can't be there. Can't be there. Those 2 will work. Has to be a wall there. What happens if we have a wall there versus there? Nothing really changes based on my reading. Okay, well, we can't have it here because that creates no viable pathway. I think that actually we just solve it like that. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. What am I doing? If we do this, if we put it here, there's no way to get past it, right? It has to be air there. No way to get past it. It has to be air there. No way to get past it. It has to be air there. Which then means there's like... Yeah. Same thing there, which creates that conundrum. What does that tell us? Actually, a lot. Actually, that's pretty dang helpful. Yeah, look at that. Huge. Okay, we got there in the end. I hadn't realized that the slime didn't yet have a partner. We'll take a look at this one, then we'll wrap up for the day. I mean, this slime and this bomb are going to hang out. This slime... I don't know who your friend is yet. I literally can't imagine... Oh, wait, no. We know it has to be this bomb here at minimum. Because no matter where you put the wall block here, they connect. They have to. So you're with him. You, we don't know yet. We have no idea who your friend is. But while we figure that out, let's take a look at our neighbors here. You can't get that guy. If you do, this two can only get one monster. Not good. That means at minimum you're getting this guy. You might get this guy. What happens if you get him? You get stuck up there with nothing to catch. Therefore, this guy has to get that monster. Forcing this one to get that monster. Forcing two to get him. Block. And let's figure out what our last little maneuver here is. Is there any obvious reason that we can't have a certain... We can't, like, do that or this, for example? No? Great. Well... There's only two walls here, and they have to both go on either side of the two to stop it from hitting the monsters. Therefore, that's all connected. Chump change, right? But you should act on every single discovery you make. Otherwise, you'll end up not remembering what you had already figured out and what you still need to work around. This is interesting. We only get 3 blocks with which we can block off those two things here. Okay. I don't see the next required little thing. The next little step in our big, big, brave journey. The next little guy we gotta conquer in order to achieve our dominance of this whole frickin' game. I've done so many of these puzzles already. So many little grids conquered. And yet every single time they continue to stump me in some profound way. Enough, I say. We know that the one and this one have to, this one has to have a wall here and a wall somewhere in there to stop it from hitting this monster and that monster respectively. Therefore, you're getting that guy. You're getting that guy. Wall. Oh, wall. That's all solved. And we figured out our groups. We figured out that... Ooh, we've nearly figured out our groups. We don't know if this guy down here belongs to this group or to that group. We'll find out shortly, I suppose. What is next? What is our next item on the agenda here? We can't put the wall here, because it'll connect. We still know for certain that this slime is going to go connect to these guys here. Yeah. Yeah, there's no way this slime does not connect to this group of monsters here. Even if we put it there, like, what's it going to do? Go through there and touch those guys instead? No. Which means that this group and this group can't touch. Well, if we put the wall here, they touch. Same goes for all of those spots. They don't touch here. They don't touch here, but then this group touches that group if it goes there. Therefore, it has to go here. If it's even 1 pixel off this way, touches that group. If it's 1 pixel off this way, touches that group. Either way, not good. Is anything similarly true up top? Any other like single blocks that we can exploit? Oh, that has to go there to stop this bomb from touching either side, which is probably helpful. Yeah, it is, because if we put like the wall here, for example, they'll touch like that. That's no good. Put the wall here, it happens again. That's going to be open, 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 open. We put this here. Yep. Somewhere in here is going to be that particular wall. Exactly where? IDK. We now know that this bottom part is part of this larger group. You have to have a wall there to stop this bomb from touching that guy there. And now we can do a very similar thing. If we put the wall here, this group touches that group through there. No good. All of those have the exact same problem. Therefore, the wall is somewhere in there. We're getting close to figuring out this part right here. Only 1 block away. The reason I always say that 1 block away is that later on I can look back at a row and be like, this row is solved because we solved the 1 block in that particular row. Always a good thing to keep track of. You're blocked there, can't have those touching. Which creates the exact same thing here. We can't have... They'll touch like this if it's there, if it's anywhere that's not one of those 2 tiles. Therefore, it's somewhere here. Oh, I lied. I lied. There's not 1 more tile here, there's 2 more tiles here. Therefore, all bets are off as to exactly where or what the tiles there are going to be like. Is there any problem? There is a problem with those 2 touching. Yeah, this group and that group cannot touch. So we can't put the block here because they'll touch like that if we do. Therefore, that has to be open, that has to be closed to stop that interaction from occurring. Small victory. But now, there's only 1 block left in this row, which tells us if we put on this side, if we put it like here, the slime is going to touch this. Anything on this side of the slime is not workable. First, I have to put a block there to stop those 2 groups from touching. Okay. What's next? 2. We can't put the block there because If we put it there, then this group will touch that group, which is not good. That has to be air, therefore I think all of those do. Yeah, this is the highest the block can be before that rule goes into effect. We have to put a block there just to stop them from just directly touching. Which I'm glad we're getting to that point. That makes my life substantially easier. Oh, that's true there as well. I hadn't even noticed. Shows you what a attentive, astute fellow I am. We have this block here now, so that we can solve these ones pretty easily, because can't put it there, they'll touch, no, no. Can't put it there, they'll touch there, so that's open. One of these two is a block. Something similar is a foot here, we can't have them. Well, that's fine, actually. Actually, that's okay. We're allowed to have one there. This is getting tougher. Obviously. What is next? We can probably figure out something to do with this top section here. You know, we put this here. Everything there is solved. Ugh, I don't think we can actually work on that quite yet. We can't have both of those here because we can't have both of them there. So there's one there, or something similar for both of those. Whatever that entails. Oh, look at this. This has been solved for a hot second. I hadn't even noticed. That's been, like, mega solved. I bet someone was screaming at me for overlooking that thing. The block has to be somewhere in there. If it's here, then we connect. Oh, what a blunder. What does that tell us? Nothing good. And being ungrateful. It's probably tremendous help. I simply don't know quite how yet. Okay, let's take a look at this. We know the wall is going to be there or there. Either way, the slime has to go around like that. Whether it's there or here, he's going around. Which means those are for sure air. Forcing both of those to be for sure blocks, which solves this column entirely, telling us that, telling us, I think that, which then goes a long way towards solving, I guess that could be there. How could that be there? I guess you could stop it there. Well, that's something at least. We've got that's trying to get worked out. There has to be a block there to stop the bomb from colliding with that monster, putting air in all those places. Does that tell us anything new? It does. It solves that row for us. With that row solved, we're making progress, I guess. If we put this guy here, he connects like that. That's no good. All those are air, all these are blocked. Put this guy put the block there. They connect. No, no. That works. But that doesn't work, right? Yeah. So it's got to be those two. Block, block. This is entirely solved now. Blocked. Ooh, ooh, ooh. We're one away from solving that part. Not quite there. I got a little bit hasty. Oh, I think that's entirely solved, that particular row. Then, no, no. Solved, solved, no. Solved. No, solved. No, solved. Oh, there we go. Finally, tremendous. Gonna reset that for next time. And with that, that should be the, that is most of, not most of, part of row 7 handled. Thank you for watching. We'll continue on row, I keep saying row 7. We'll keep going on row 8 next time. Thank you.